take a couple moments with a little introductory meditation and just settle into your sitting. This will just be a meditation with the breath. Inhale through the nose with ease, with consistency, with gentleness towards the lower trunk. Exhale through the mouth with ease, gentleness, consistency from the lower trunk towards the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And what we're going to do is just let the eyelids follow the breath. So as we inhale, the eyelids follow the breath down. So they're fully open at the start of the inhalation, fully resting at the end of the inhalation. So as the breath starts at the top and follows its way to the bottom, so too do the eyelids. The eyelids are never closed in the sense of muscular contraction. They fall closed in an overly drunk sense. So if your eyelids could drool, that's how they're closed. And then when we exhale, the eyelids slowly come open, the eyelids rising as the breath rises from the belly to find the mouth and its exit. And so in a simple way of thinking of this, we're just matching the pace of the breath and the eyes opening and closing. Nothing more. Finding the rhythm. Inhaling through the nose towards the lower belly. Exhaling through the mouth from the lower belly. Eyelids falling closed, floating open. Come to feel that the breath and the eyelids are one. They're linked, if nothing else. Continue to breathe. It's a very nice, simple meditation. It can be done. I didn't start with the eyelids because I just wanted to get us into the space, but it would if you were ready to go the first time, open and close, depending on if you're starting in or X. So, but I just kind of talked us through a couple breaths just to kind of shake the rust off and then introduce the eyelids. If you did it on your own, you just, okay, this is the exercise to match the two. And they might not quite be in sync, like the eyelids can go slower than the breath or vice versa, but you want to bring them into sync. Once they get into sync, and this is sort of a common thread in many of the Chinese meditations, is when you bring a couple things in sync, the thing that can do it more, so deeper, longer, further, gentler, whatever it is then the cheerleader for the other. Right? So for example, if I got these two synced, but I could take a breath that takes, I just can't do my eyelids that slowly, then I get them synced, and then my breath can do it more slowly. So the breath goes a little slower than, to sort of encourage, like in a race, you might have somebody that helps you pace. It's just they run just a little faster than you, and then all of a sudden you're running faster, or swimming, or whatever it is. And so you kind of link them, and then the one that can do a little bit more, so more can be faster, slower, deeper, broader, whatever the point is. But then you have that little pace, that little cheerleader. And so once these are linked, you could decide which one can lead the other to deepen this practice. All we did here was just try and get them to sync, and then kind of feel like inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Anybody find it difficult to not just close the eyes? Or get them half open or 2/3 open and then try and slow the end of the opening? Like it's like, oh wow, it's like, I don't know, I don't have that much control over this little thing for a lot of people, I'm guessing. But you get into that meditation and it starts to feel like, oh, the whole of the process is the same. What I don't want to do with the eyelids on this is close them or open them. I want them to, that's why I said drunken, like where they just kind of fall to the ground. Nobody told them to, they didn't plan on it, they're just on their carpet, because you had too much. And then also when they open, it's not really me saying, okay, now open them, which we do in two ways. We do it non-consciously and overly consciously. Those are the ways we do it. But instead I want to float them. It's just like a little bit of a helium balloon. You can imagine that just goes at a steady rate. Once you let it go, and so you kind of feel the eyelids just float. When this starts to happen, they start to get this really, the only way I can describe this is intensely gentle, but I know that you don't usually see those two words linked. But my description of it is that I end up with this intensely gentle massage of the eyeball by the eyelid, or vice versa. I get really tuned into that little film of moisture and just one passing the other, instead of having a full experience of just eyelid open, and then I get into the sinus areas and the orbital socket and the connective tissue. That's when my eyelids open. I feel I don't feel the eyeball, but that's like a big part of that relationship with that action. So anyway, just a little simple introductory meditation. As long as you do it, I think I learned this one 9 times. It was a cycle of 9, so 9 full breaths. But again, I think if you just did this for a minute, 30 seconds, a minute and a half, I think that's a pretty nice little thing to do. If you do it when the commercials come on, you'll see half as many commercials because your eyes will be closed. So there's like a little upside, and that's, I don't know how long the commercial is. It's probably a minute and a half or a couple minutes of commercial. So there's one thing closed. Okay. Any feedback? I'm going to ask about feedback about your week of inspiring practice. which will be tough because it's never been easy and I've been teaching for 30 years. But I'll just ask you, how did that meditation go that I know you all just practice right now? If you know you don't have a good answer for later, jump in now with a good answer. Like, I don't have my homework, but I brought my brothers. You know, like, that happened to Hetty, by the way. She literally had her dog eat her homework from another class she was in here. She brought it in with a half-chewed journal. It's pretty awesome.
That's what my dog, he'll do, like, because he wants your attention.
Yeah.
And you're working on something, so he's like, I'm gonna take that. And he takes it, and he took a check once, but I got it before. Because he takes the mail.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Cats don't do that.
No.
But they do their other little things.
Try to explain to someone, could you write the check again?
Because.
Sylvia, Amy.
Okay, so feedback, confusion, corrections, comments on what we just did, clarifications.
I was closing my eyes like entirely for a while, and I like remembered I was like, I'm supposed to like lift them for the. I like lulled myself to sleep almost, and then I was like, oh, I need to be doing that. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not structured. Like, I had to like fix the structure.
So this is the process, is this physical modeling of coming into presence, coming into a different presence. You know, so it's this physical modeling of awake and then alternately conscious. So it's a nice,
Yeah, it was weird.
nice shift. Yeah.
It seemed backwards to me at first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, like you wanted to open on the inhale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt awkward. Not backwards.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
what you mean though. Yeah.
Yeah. But then what?
Coordination was like.
Yeah. Maybe that's all it was.
Well, that particular one, I don't think I've ever taught, but I do it. And right before I started, I was like, and I wanted to make sure I didn't say it backwards. Because I was like, I know I'll do it right, but that's not what I need to do now. I need to say it.
Yeah.
And I knew I could have totally just said the wrong one. And then you guys have your eyes closed and I'm doing this and it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, but did it sink into less awkward? Like, oh, this
Yes.
does work? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
So it's just breath and eyelids,
yeah.
breath and eyelids, breath and eyelids, breath and eyelids.
You see, I didn't get that continuation either. As it went on, it stopped. As
Uh-huh.
it goes on, it's
Yeah.
rest in those spots.
Yeah.
And the longer you do it, the more it plays.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't continuing.
Well, the breath loss is off, and it's the synchronous.
I finally had to do okay, put this fog step and take it like 5 steps, okay. Then
Mhm.
breathe in this much and open your eyelids this much. And I did that a couple of times and then just kind of relaxed.
Good.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
A lot of these, they're cyclic, you know, and so if you're stuck, like, you know, you came out of the rhythm or you have 3 thoughts and now you're behind us or something, like, you know it's cyclic, so you can hang out there and then just catch us when we come back around, you know, just, oh, okay, now I'm gonna get back in on it. It would be nice to stay with us, but if you know it's a cyclic exercise, you can just slip out when you, or when you find yourself out, you can slip back in, so, no worry. If you're gonna give it the name that I give this is Buddha blowing on the teeth.
Buddha blowing on the teeth?
Like to maybe pull
Like-
it off. You know.
Oh,
Oh, God. I think I misheard it at first too.
I had the same thing, it's backwards, and then I started thinking of, like the cosmic orbit,
Mhm.
and the signal energy going up, and then my eyes lifting up,
Mhm.
and back down.
Mhm.
So, it's same thing, just, breath.
Right, that's fine. Anybody else? Okay, let's talk about our week of intensely inspiring gold medal performance in our practice labs. Who wants those stories of somebody saying, I heard all the benefits of meditation, I haven't gotten any. I've been to the class 3 times. You know, or I did it 4 days in a row, and my blood pressure's the same. You know, and it's certainly possible you do it once and your blood pressure's adjusted or you see these benefits, but, you know, it's like planting a tree or raising kids, you know. Those fruits are likely to come after 18 years, you know. If you get them sooner, great, and a lot of people do, so I'm not saying just sign up to class for 18 years, but I'm just saying, you don't want to keep, you know, like if you weigh yourself every day while you're dieting, it's like, oh, I didn't see it move. I'm like, weigh yourself once a week. It's like, it's easier to check in that way. So, it does require you to do the work. You know what I mean? And if you notice what the work is, a lot of these are, do this for 90 seconds. You know, do this for 2.5 minutes. Like the work in this isn't, you know, walk 20 miles and go on a treadmill for 60 minutes, or not that kind of work, you know. But it needs to be done. You need to commit to it, and that it is a healthier you. You know, there's nobody that you relate to that you don't relate to with your mind. And so if we think of meditation as mental hygiene, then you are interacting with everybody you interact with, right? Having showered and flossed and deodorant and clean socks and underwear, like, you know what I mean? Or when I relate to somebody physically, it helps if I shower and brush my teeth and, like, you know, physical hygiene, right? Kind of.
Your best self.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the term best, but
I know your pain.
but you don't always relate to people in a very physically intimate way. That, you know, like I can go through a lot of my day and nobody knows if I showered or not. And then at night, if we don't wrestle and I'm standing in the front, people might not know. You know, and you might just go to the drive-thru twice in one day and then be on the phone for a lot of your work or up in a bucket. Or people don't know if you didn't shower. But if you are relating to people, your mind is relating to them. You know what I mean? And so like that mental hygiene is, I would say, about 100%. Related to your interactions. Your physical depends on your day and your job and who you see in your life and how introverted you are. But you could probably get away with wearing the same shirt 2 days in a row or not flossing every day or, you know, whatever it is. But the mental hygiene, everybody you relate to will, I guess, benefit from that. I don't know if they'll notice it, but like it stands to reason that your investment in this is doing something for every person you interact with. And then maybe who then they interact with. I don't know how far that, you know, how far that carries. So, it's a nice way to think of it as mental floss, you know, just kind of help clear that out. Who else wants to regale me with stories of their meditation week? Yes, sir.
I used the, think we called it emotional structure. I don't know if that was like the title that you wanted, but like the emotional structure
Yep.
meditation. I think that was last week.
Yeah.
Right. I did that while on a train traveling, and I did that several times when I was just like anxious about something
Yeah.
or whatever. And I found that like during class we took maybe a half an hour doing it, but like I only needed about 5 minutes at first, and then like the third time I only did it for like a minute, and I had like, I wouldn't say like the exact same, I wouldn't say the exact same effects, but you know, similar effects.
Right,
Just a
right,
minute.
right. Yeah, exactly. And of course, as you're practiced at something like that, you probably find your way into it more cleanly,
Yeah.
which probably means faster or less duration or both. And so that tends to happen. You know? You can find your way into it with ease. You know, it's familiar. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
I did the meditation within the sky, saw
Mhm.
the best cloud formation.
crazy
Were
cloud.
you able not to comment on the clouds to yourself?
No. They were dragons.
They were the
and
best.
tigers, and They really were amazing that day, so I tried.
Today I found them to be quite amazing from dawn till thus far. I just kept craning my neck, you know, it's like I shouldn't do that meditation. I want to see these clouds.
Those are clouds, you know, you have to.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary. I felt today. I was like, before dawn, I was like